Philip H. Anselmo, and you're fucking listening to the Phantasm Podcast. Beware. Beware. Beware, you sons of bitches. Phantasm.
Alright, well, Corey Gorechrist here, Dr. Vincent West. We are here with the man that needs no introduction, Phil Anselmo. How you doing, man?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Doing great. You're on the Super Joint Tour. It's getting near the end of the tour for it, correct?
Yeah, this leg of it, yes.
Alright, and how's the tour been going so far?
I think it's awesome. Great. The smaller the room, the better.
Right, yeah.
I love it, man. And the kids, oldsters alike
Right.
are singing the lyrics to the new songs, and
It's amazing.
it's good shit, man. Good
Right.
shit.
And then talk a little bit about going back into Super Joint after so many years.
It's nothing really that hasn't been covered, but between Kate Richardson and Corey Mitchell, rest in peace. When we were doing year 2 of the Housecore Horror and Film Festival, year 1 I did the gig with Down, so it was like you know, what band, and they were like, do Super Joint, and I put it out on my radar completely, or off the radar completely, and I guess when it came down to the wire, basically said, let me check with Jimmy.
Sure.
He said he was open for it, and I said, well, let me check with Kevin. He was wide open for it, so I said, wow, I'm the only asshole with the door closed. Let me find the key and unlock this motherfucker. And you know, and the choice of Blue and Steve, who I've been jamming with the Illegals.
Love the illegal stuff. It's
Great,
awesome.
good stuff.
New Illegals
good shit.
blows it away.
Oh wow!
I might give you a sneak peek.
Sure, that'd be amazing.
A little bit, but so picking them to jam with was easy, and we got in the room and it was fun. It was really the chemistry between the guys, everybody getting along, and no bullshit, no drama, no fucking extra burden of anything. It just fucking playing the songs, and it ended up being a blast, and here we are.
Awesome.
You know.
And then we'll talk a little bit about the Caught Up in the Gears of Application record, going into that.
Whatever you want to ask.
Just the writing process for that, coming back into Super Joint, jamming it out.
Super Joint
mindset.
to me is really just the New Orleans feel itself meets hardcore, really, you know, in the vein of Black Flag, of course. Maybe and a handful of other hardcore bands. You know, it's between Negative Approach and Agnostic Front, etc. So you know, it's like fucking, you know, you take all those type of influences and you relive them, and you understand why you love them to begin with.
Sure.
And you know, so the writing process was make sure it sounds like Super Joint, make sure it feels authentic and valid.
Absolutely.
You know, so that to me, the validity was the important part, and so far so good.
Awesome.
Love the production of it. It's really
it's real. It's like, you know, no clicky trigger drums or anything like that. Just raw as
Kind of
fun.
gets away from people now. You know, I've always been a fan of the raw sound.
Yeah, of course, and that's
kind of
I'm regressing now. That's
right.
where that's where my regression comes in. To bring on the production,
Right.
less of it, personally.
That's why, you know, to be a fan of you and then to see you as a producer yourself and find these bands, it's awesome. The ear you have is great. It's uncanny. It's awesome.
Well, it is,
the bands
you
that
gotta
you're
have an
picking up and
open
stuff.
mind.
Sure.
A band like Child Bite,
No, they're great. I really like.
extremely different band, and
Yeah.
you'll see tonight very excellent live band, and just fucking really on their own trip as far as their influences. I mean, I could sit here and tell you what they remind me of, but it doesn't really do them any justice.
Right.
When you gotta, experience Child Life for what it is, there's many different influences that just happen to come out the way it does, and I love it, and I wish, more innovation upon more bands, that would be great. I love innovation,
Oh, yeah.
because we've already got set genres.
Sure.
So it's like, and also set sub-genres and sub-genres.
Definitely.
And, cross all sorts of different lines and avenues of music. So it's like, why not look for the bands that are doing it the best, And,
Yeah.
I can't say I have a handle on all of those because I don't,
Right.
It's a worldwide thing, and I'm a fan of a lot of different bands that, are tied up in record deals and stuff like that, and, plus we are a do-it-yourself, record label without tons of fucking money to spend or anything like that, so money's money for anybody these days.
Yeah.
So I only get the opportunity to work with so many bands at one point and one time, so it's like everybody asks me, where do you get the time, where do you get the energy, where do you get the, and I'm like, man, it's from the second I wake up, I'm like thinking of something, so
Right.
I gotta see it through.
Sure.
It's introduced me to a lot of really cool bands. I
Yeah.
like the variety. It's some
Absolutely.
great stuff.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
I really do.
it's some good stuff.
And then, speaking of housecore, do you want to talk about how the Horror Fest came about?
It's
something that's
it's
huge.
slowly coming around, this year. I guess we're looking at November again, and
Awesome.
there's a bunch of bands on the table, and as far as thematic things go, as far as films or
Right.
directors or anything like that, I think that's still up in the air to a degree, and nothing I can announce
Sure.
officially until I get the fucking green light,
Right.
because right now everything's, it's fucking, February 1st.
Right.
Everything's kind of in a holding pattern until the green light, that proverbial green light.
Yeah. And then you've been doing the horror convention circuit as
Yeah,
well.
man,
How's
that's been
that
a
going?
blast. That's been fucking
I'm going
fun.
to Days of the Dead this weekend in Atlanta.
Oh, you're
so
going?
I know you've done
I
that
wish
a couple
I
times.
wish
yeah.
I'd be there, man. Fuck, man.
But you're going to Mad Monster be your next one, I think. In
You
South
probably
Carolina?
know better than me. That's it.
I was actually.
I
we
just
usually.
I get tapped on the shoulder and say, hey, this Wednesday, we're flying out to, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
But how's
really?
the convention circuit working out? for you?
Awesome. I think it's great.
You get to see a lot of
I
your
got-
guys you like in horror movies, or
Well, that, and, me, when you get to hang out with guys like Chris Sarandon and stuff
Oh,
like
that's
that, and
amazing.
sit there and talk shit and talk Lovecraft and this and that, and their take on some of my favorite stories, like, he was in a wannabe Charles Dexter Ward type movie, and he let me know that they were low on funds and this and that, because that's like one of my favorite Lovecraft stories of all time.
Sure.
Charles Dexter Ward, The Strange Case of. So I always wanted to ask him about that. So that was an interesting conversation. And, then you got your Ginger Lynns and ex-porn stars, stuff like that.
Oh, that's got to be great. Yeah.
And they're cool. They're so down to earth and so real, And even guys like Ric Flair, shit like
Yeah.
that.
Showed me that.
Yeah,
We get
you
along.
guys did like a
'cause
funny video.
Well, yeah, it was really because I had the opportunity to basically tell the entire table of like 8 assholes from The Walking Dead to go fuck themselves because they had fucking absolutely I hate using this word, but dissed fucking Ric Flair's wife.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I just had to remind them that their success is fleeting and they will be killed off one day, and there are plenty of pretty faces in Hollywood to
Sure.
take their place. And when they get older, hopefully they stay pretty,
Yeah.
for the cameras, because it doesn't last all that fucking long. So enjoy while you got it.
Not all quote-unquote raw
Assholes.
talent.
And you're, not to mention they were cowards and sat there
Right.
and just shook. So
Sounds about right.
that was fun. More power to Ric Flair.
Oh yeah.
Damn right. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And are any of the actors and stuff you met during the conventions, any of them fans of your music?
Bunch of them.
Really?
Shit, more than I would ever even fucking garner. I was very surprised.
That's awesome.
I'm terrible with names and shit, but I mean, like, the the main dude, boyfriend guy from Gremlins. I forget his name. Dark hair cat.
I know you're talking about an actor.
He was unbelievable. He was like, he knew every fucking song in the fucking book and all kind of motherfuckers, man. But him right off the bat, like a guy like that, you'd never think would be a Pantera fan, but it's like, thinking of obscure people, it's like, wow, really? Unbelievable.
That's cool.
He almost knew more than I did. I was like, God, what a memory you have, sir.
That's right.
And then Bill Moseley.
William Moseley, what a fucking credit to the human race.
He's a very stand-up guy.
I've known him many, many years. And
Wow.
really, we were introduced, I think, as a offset of each other, me being a musician, him being a horror guy, and interviewed in that type of way, but it was me mostly talking about horror and him sitting there going, wow, what movie is that again, and then we developed a friendship, and since then, it's like, anytime he's in town, he stops by the house, hangs out, comes over.
It's amazing.
And then,
That's awesome.
but, then making music with Bill was, it's almost like I wish I would have known his capabilities then as I do now, because I would have been a lot tougher on him.
Right.
Because the dude he can sing. He can fucking sing, and he's got an incredible range.
Sure.
He's not a baritone like I am. He's a tenor, so he can really, really, honestly hit
It's remarkable.
higher notes, and he knows how to harmonize with himself. He can do a lot of things, and he's got very interesting visual type of lyrics, and I'm always appreciative of that.
Sure.
And then, he's very hard-headed, too, when it comes to lyrics, like Corpus crispy. It was like, Bill, can we please just call the song Corpus Christi? No. Nope. Even my wife, she wants me to, she doesn't like it. I keep telling her it's Corpus Christi. It means something to me. I'm like, yeah, well, you can't argue with that. So if it means something to you, then here's my silly guitar part, and you sing, brother. So working with Bill's great, and actually even better is being his friend.
That's really cool.
He's a dynamite person. He's just an inspiration, really.
Yeah, he's been in the
Big time inspiration. And it's now February, so it's been about 14 days, if not 10 days, away from me being off booze for 1 year.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
It
it
is.
feels awesome. And he's been 20-something years sober. So it's like,
It's weird in February also for
so I'm
me.
catching up to him, It's like, this month.
In February it'll be,
A
like
year.
this month it'll be
A year.
6 years since I quit smoking.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine.
I
One
can't.
thing after the
It's for the throat.
Yeah.
Like
That's just for my personal thing. It wasn't for health. I was like,
Lemmy's last days,
Rest in peace.
We played a festival together, and he wanted to see me, and of course I went in and talked with the great one, and I'd known him for 2 decades before that.
Right.
He was always, especially when I was young. He was always the one to tell me that, music and your lifetime in music and your popularity and whatever, it's here and gone. It's a fleeting thing, and it's also ebb and flow. There'll be points in time in your career, if you keep going, where you'll be misunderstood, you'll be not popular, what you do won't be in, and this is back when I was in Pantera, and he said to me back then, he said, what you guys do really doesn't sound to my ears that different from what we do. And at the time I was thinking to myself, well, yeah, it's different, but I guess it isn't all that different.
Right.
Figuring it's drums, bass, guitar, format, vocals format, I can see where he's coming from. But the bigger picture now in hindsight is the fact that, music is ebb and flow. And the more bands that you're in, the more different size crowds you'll have, type of crowds you'll have, this type of, and all that shit. And it's like, looking back on it, I remember, like I said, about a month before he passed, or a couple months before he passed, when we did the festival together, I reminded him of that story, and he remembered, and he says, well, Phil, let's have a cigarette to our voices. And I said, I hear you, old boy, let's do it, man. So we smoked a cigarette together, and
it's amazing.
It is.
yeah, man, but he very, very real guy, very, very down-to-earth guy. And he will be missed.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. And we actually went and saw him in Charlotte, one of the last shows he did in the U.S. before they went over to
I
Germany.
will let you know that he was miserable during those last shows.
He had to
was
leave
in
the show.
A lot of pain.
Yeah.
A lot of pain. but he did not want to leave the stage. And I can feel that, you know, because I'm a walking injury, you know. I mean, I wake up and I feel like I'm in a car wreck every fucking day of my life. Blown out a lot of different parts of my fucking body, you know, doing what I do. And I realize that, you know, these days I don't have to go up there and destroy myself to get the fucking point across.
Sure.
You know, I have to. I'm doing an interview, man. Yeah. Get out, dude. Get out.
I love Jimmy.
He's funny.
Anyway, but yeah, man. He hated the pain, Lemmy.
Yeah.
But loved the stage, and I can relate to that.
We appreciate both of you for what you've done. And
No, but I mean, his complications, much more for real than mine. I mean, mine are real, but his was, it did exactly what it was intended to do. It killed him, and I guess we're all heading down that route eventually one day. And I mean, what do you want? You know, a heroic, everybody, you know, jumps off a cliff. It doesn't happen that way, you know.
Just gotta live till you die. You know?
Yeah, it just happens.
And Lemmy did that to the fullest, and I believe you're doing that to the fullest as well.
And do what you do best till you can't.
He fucking owned it, so, you know.
Yes, he did.
And I know, you know, you own it definitely too, and we appreciate that.
Damn right.
You gotta own it.
Corey had never seen him, so we went through hell to get to the show because he never got to see Motorhead. So when we got there, it was just amazing.
Right in front of the stage,
we got down there.
Off.
It was like, there's the gunslinger.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was
First
really
time I saw Motorhead was 1985 with Agnostic Front and
That's
Hallows
crazy.
Eve.
Oh, wow.
In New Orleans.
Sounds killer.
85.
So Agnostic Front was
Were you
really
born
good
yet?
too. No.
Exactly.
5 years later.
Right. Exactly.
He was. He's somebody.
I was in 5th grade. Yeah.
There you go. So there you go. That's how old I am.
That's all right.
That's amazing.
I think I'm at
how old I am. Yes, it is amazing.
I think I'm at. Well, he calls me the old spirit, but I'm young.
That's all right. It's good to have an old spirit, old soul.
That's right, old soul.
Definitely.
That's me. But Phil, we can't thank you enough for doing this with us. And
sure.
It's amazing.
Any horror questions?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
What's your favorite horror movie?
That's impossible. That's like asking.
If you could narrow it down to top 5, maybe.
What about the first horror movie you saw?
I grew up with it, man.
I did too. I saw Exorcist when I was like 5, and I watched horror
for
movies
me,
ever
it
since.
was like Black Sabbath.
Okay.
Fiend Without a Face. How Awful About Alan. The original Don't Be Afraid of the Dark with Kent Darby. You know. Fucking Attack of the Crab Monsters. You know, I grew up with it all.
That's awesome.
Everything from Starman to Godzilla to fucking The Exorcist and all that shit, you know, so. But I am a collector. I'm a historian. I got the original Frankenstein that's 15 minutes long.
Wow.
Shot, I believe, right in, I think the name Thomas Edison pops in there.
Wow.
So I have that. A massive black and white collection. I love television horror. Basically, all-American television horror and even British television horror. So,
of course,
my collection of all those things are pretty vast, and got shitload of comrades around the world who I gotta definitely give a big shout out to
Sure.
for sending me all the great stuff that they've sent me around the world that really you just don't get to see unless you know the name of it. You can scramble it on YouTube and find it, but
Right.
pardon me. Unless you know the name of it, unless you know exactly what you're looking for, it's like, nah, you know. And it's also an appeal thing too, you know. It's like, you know, some British television horror the BBC did back in the day might not appeal to a modern young millennial's vision of what horror might be, but
sure.
It's not necessarily true. It's once again, like music, film, specifically horror and genres of horror are like food. You love it, you hate it, or you're indifferent
Right.
to it.
Sure.
You don't give a fuck about it. It's like, you know, one way or another. So
Right.
it's all in the eye of the beholder, man. So hail horror, hail.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, love some horror.
Oh God, yes.
Now, do you like any Italian horror stuff? Is
Of
that good?
course,
Do
man.
you Fulci or more Argento?
Fulci.
Me too.
Hands down, fucking easy answer there. To me, Argento goes nowhere, but it's beautiful looking.
Yeah.
Fulci also goes nowhere, but at least it's
That's
gory.
nasty. Yeah.
It is fucking gory. And case in point, I think my favorite Fulci movie, House by the Cemetery,
Love that fucking movie.
makes no sense at all.
No.
But
It
it's
is.
just, I mean, the
Got the doctor living in the
Freudstein
basement or
house,
whatever.
the Freudstein. It's Dr. Freudstein down
Freudstein.
there somehow, I
Yeah.
guess, you know. And weren't they supposed to move out at one point, but never did? And yeah.
They just get stuck there.
We got to move out here tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, baby, I promise. And then the next scene, it's like, ready to go to bed. You know, it's like, well, wait, I thought we were leaving this fucking house
Yeah,
bar.
yeah.
You know. Anyway, so yeah, fuck, Italian horror. Just remember, there is only one Mario Bava.
Oh
That's
yeah,
right.
Bava's.
Only one Mario Bava. Black Sabbath.
Yeah, Black Sunday.
Kill, baby, kill. And I could keep going, but the atmosphere, the lighting, the creativity, I guess mood falls under atmosphere
Sure.
as well. It's tough to beat Bava. Mario Bava, genius,
Oh yeah.
innovator, and I would have to say tremendous influence upon our beloved Fulcis and
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah.
Argentos, etc.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you cannot not agree,
Right.
because all you have to do is take a look at what came first, the chicken or the fucking egg, and definitely it's fucking Baba
The Baba came.
who was
before.
laying the fucking eggs all over the fucking place. So it's like, you know,
Yeah, we
it's
reviewed
it's the
Bay of
truth.
Blood on our podcast, one of the first ones we did. So.
Bay of Blood,
Oh, yeah.
like kind of like the Friday the 13th
A little bit,
of
yeah.
its time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a box copy of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, my VHS collection is ridiculous.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I got some crazy shit, man. But I will say, there's one movie, I like bad cinema as well.
Yeah, it's fun sometimes. Watch the campy stuff.
Yeah, but I think there's been a new level, and not only of confidence and power, but of absurdity.
Right.
You gotta make fun of your old shit. and yourself. You got to learn to laugh at yourself. Jesus Christ, be absurd. Thrive on it.
It's fun that way.
You gotta see, and if you haven't seen it, I wish you good luck, and I hope you're as excited about it as I am, and you turn as many people on to it as possible. But the Greasy Strangler,
I've heard so much about that. Is it good?
Great.
Those guys are going to be at that convention you're going to.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. And I'm going to handshake them. I am going to stick out my hand and shake their hands. And if they allow me, I will hug them with nothing but pure enthralled fucking worship, because we're wrapping up. Because I will say this: there has not been a more fearless cast since Cannibal Holocaust.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
And we're talking about two completely different type of films and two completely different types of phobias. And whilst the Greasy Strangler might make you feel very uncomfortable at times, bravo. Bravo to them. What a great, great cult classic that shall remain. I'm calling it a cult classic right now. And when it came out, last year, the end of last year?
I'd never heard of it.
I haven't
It's
seen it yet.
amazing. I've got a box copy that I brought.
Wow, okay.
Only one on tour. The Greasy Strangler.
Special Director's Edition.
Oh, God, I got
yeah.
I had Blu-ray at home.
Yeah.
So
That's what we review is the Blu-rays.
We'll
pick it up and we'll do it. We'll do it for you maybe for this interview.
But don't pigeonhole it into a horror film. Call it a cult classic.
Right.
Okay.
Classic.
Gotcha.
And you can mark my words on that.
Awesome. Well, you heard it here, guys. Greasy Strangler, the official recommendation from Phil Anselmo on the podcast.
Definitely.
So go check that shit out, and we'll definitely watch it ourselves. Maybe review it on our podcast with this episode.
Good luck with that. Because there isn't a scene that goes by where you see what you even think you're gonna fucking see. It's like.
That sounds like a good time, honestly.
It's I guess if you're a glutton like I am,
Right.
for it's not necessarily punishment, but it's more like what's the great director Waters? John
Waters.
John Waters, of course. Yeah, I always want to say Roger because
Pink Floyd.
The Pink Floyd thing.
Well, it's Pink Flamingos, but it's
Exactly.
that's where it comes in. Yeah, it fucks with you.
But Women Problem, that's my favorite one. But it's like Waters, but not.
I can.
And this is this guy's first movie he's ever done.
Really?
Damn.
It's gonna be tough to top. It's really gonna be tough to top unless this dude is just a plain fucking genius and has got his ducks clearly in a row. It's like this. The Greasy Strangler is like the first Ghost record. You know, it's gonna be tough to beat.
I'd like to check that out.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot. It's been out for a year already, like on Blu-ray. And
I guess.
Huh.
It's out. It's for sale.
All right.
Hit up your what is it? Google or
Amazon.
Amazon. There you
Yeah.
go. It's on Amazon.
Hit on your Google
Cool.
store.
Nail it.
Whatever.
It's
Might
worth
have it.
every fucking penny.
Awesome.
Lucy Strangler.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll wrap this up. Thank you so much for
You got it, man.
doing this, and it's been an
Anytime.
honor talking to you.
Absolutely, brother.
And we'll be at the show later, so we'll see you there and do your thing.
This is Philip H. Anselmo, and you're fucking listening to the Phantasm Podcast. Beware. Beware. Beware, you sons of bitches.